Hi, I am author S.C. Vincent, writer of several science fiction, fantasy, and horror books. You can find me on Amazon.com. If you just type in S.C. Vincent, you'll see several great books, such as The Sakura Element, East the Fallen, and The Arcadian Destiny. And you can even find some of my short stories where I've been published. If you just type in my name, go to my books, check them out. Leave a review, share them with your friends. I would greatly appreciate it, and enjoy the video. Hey guys, I'm author SC Vincent, and today I wanted to talk about AI, artificial intelligence. Within the past few years, maybe two or three, we've seen a lot of advancements in AI from ChatGPT to a lot of other uses, and I want to speak about kind of how it's affected the entertainment industry and specifically publishing, writing books. So what prompted this video was this right here. So a mutual on Twitter or X there was a question of would you read an AI book? And I think Renee is how you pronounce her name, says, I suspect I already have without knowing it. And then I say that this is the truth. I'll make a video about it. So to kind of understand why I agreed with her on that is, if you look into any type of industry, especially one that is, capital focused, getting as much revenue as possible with as little expense as possible, you want to cut down on the fat so you can get the most revenue. And if you're in the business of entertainment with big money, especially like video games, if you can kind of get rid of translators, if you can get rid of, I guess they call them code monkeys, it's a derogatory term, and if you can kind of put that in a machine and have it prompted, say, make this kind of come up with this much code or this code for whatever you need it to do, they're going to try to do that, and they're going to try to tell you it's a good thing, and people will lose their jobs because of this. Now, some people might say that, oh, this opens up opportunities to create AI or AI machines. I don't know. If that's not really the point. It's the point of the process of making art and losing the artistic merit to a machine, which is something a lot of people don't really understand, because there's some people that are just numbers people. And when it comes to things that aren't in the entertainment industry, they don't really care. They are numbers people. They just want the business aspect. But when you are making a video game, which I consider it can be art, there's a lot of people involved with that, and there's a lot of money. So if they can, a lot of these companies aren't run by artists. They focus on the bottom line. So they think, okay, let's get rid of some of these people. Let's by using AI, and they're gonna think that we'll do it. We just won't tell anybody we're doing it because we know it's bad PR, and we've seen this before. Some companies don't care. They'll be like, well, they don't care if you know, but some get found out, and there's a backlash, and sometimes they've gotten what's it called? People won't buy the game because it has used AI, or it'll just be bad press. I've seen it happen with Recently, a video game developer called Falcom has said that they are looking into using AI translations to cut down on the time it takes to translate their games. So for one of their series, they want to use AI to cut down on the translation time for what would normally be a year plus to just 6 months from release in Japan to release in America. So they're pretty open about it. Now, if one developer, especially one developer that's really small, is doing it, then you can bet that companies like Microsoft, who also make video games, are doing it, and they're just not telling you. In fact, probably the bigger money, the bigger the company, the more likelihood there is of them using AI, because they're very numbers focused. So you might be thinking, well, this is video games. How does this relate to publishing or books or anything? Books are not heavy earners, but if you're going to publish a book, whether you're an indie, a self-published, or a traditionally published, no matter what, you have a budget, right? I mean, none of these guys make a ton of money on. Nobody makes a ton of money on books anymore, at least in the traditional sense, just like a book or even an ebook. Maybe you make more money with the bigger authors and maybe the audiobooks, but it's not like anything that they can do to kind of cut down on the prices or the expenses to create the book. They're going to try to do in order to get more money. And there's a lot of fat that can be cut if you use AI. For example, if you're doing an audiobook, you can use a AI voice. Now, I've seen this. People have tried this. Some people will outright not listen to that. Some people will, and some publishers will take that risk because they can't. I mean, why would they care? They can't afford an actor, anyways. And I've seen, for example, you see ChatGPT. Some people will tell ChatGPT will give it a prompt, give them, hey, here's my idea for the book, you fill in the rest. And I think I've seen those I've heard of those types of books on Amazon. There's varying levels of AI. It depends on how you kind of want to go. If you go to Grammarly, it has AI, and you can put in a sentence, and it'll give you a suggestion on how to make the sentence better, or you can kind of use the base, where it'll just say this is grammatically incorrect. Some people have different standards of what's acceptable in AI, but the key point is that since it's such a money issue for these businesses, you can go on. If you're a company and you have a book that comes out, and because of the budget so tight, if it flops, it could just be one book. That could ruin your entire company. So you have to think of all these risks that companies put into their development of these things. The companies know, I see all the time when you're submitting stories, submitting novels, they all say no AI, nothing AI written. But if they can get rid of an editor, the money it takes to get rid of an editor, to have ChatGPT edit the story for you, some people will probably make that decision to do that, and they just won't tell you. you might not meet your editor, or you'll have an in-between person saying, "Oh, your editor thinks this." So most likely, this is being used in traditional publishing, probably just across the board, and no one's just telling you they're using AI. Um, and that's probably like that in every industry. So, I mean, you can accept it. You can say, "Oh, I'm only going to accept a little bit," or just you can accept none of it. Um, it just depends on what you think of it, what you think of, like in terms of it being artistic. It's like, yeah, you upload if you have an idea and you upload it onto an AI, it's probably going to be stolen by the servers, by the company. In some sense, they're going to use it because it's going to learn from what you're writing. Um, so it's a heck of a thing, but most likely you have read an AI book or a book probably assisted with AI in some sense, either slightly edited or heavily written. Um, so I wonder, what's the threshold for you? Um, the someone helped you, the AI helps you fix a sentence, or the AI, or you just want no AI, or you don't care if the AI kind of helped write almost the entirety of the book. I think that's kind of the truth of it, and kind of the future, um, to some degree, of book publishing, especially in the traditional sense. Um, when I wrote um, the Sakura element, that was when I was publishing that. I became very much aware. That was around very much when the AI stuff was really getting famous, and I was like, okay, people are putting like warnings, like trigger warnings in the beginning of their book saying this book was not written with the use of AI. And so I did the same thing. Um, so if you look at the copyright page, I think, of the Sakura element, you'll see this book, you'll see something like that. Um, but now I'm not really seeing that as much anymore. Um, I don't, and I've noticed that the presence of AI being used um, online, a lot of people don't seem to care that much. Like the average person who's not artistically involved, the average person who's just like a numbers guy or just an average Joe doesn't really care if something's used with AI. Like you'll see a movie poster, um, and you'll think they won't even notice, or they won't even care that it's used with AI. They think AI is cool. Most people think AI is just cool. So I think it's a matter of a minority of artsy people are going to care about it, but the majority aren't going to care, and the majority wins because the dollar wins. Um, so that's kind of my thoughts on it. Um, so please check out my books. All right. Uh, see you next time.